Hello Pisces, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this, my darling, is your intuitive Sun, Moon and Star reading for the time between December the 1st and into January 2020. I know. We are going to draw 3 rows and look at your moon, the sun part of your reading, which is your divine masculine, and that covers the actions and experiences that you're going to be facing in the month of December. We then, in the second row, we'll look at the moon, which is your divine feminine, and that is what's going on beneath the surface for you, your emotions and what may be hidden. And then finally, in the stars section, which is kind of like your rising sign, in that it's where you're headed. So that could be the end of the month or into January. What can you expect going forward if we follow this path that we're currently on and we engage with that? Okay, so my darlings, don't forget to check out your sun, moon and rising signs as well, because that might or your additional signs, because that might actually help you to get even further information and detail about how to navigate your life path over the next couple of weeks. All right, my darlings, I have shuffled and meditated. I'm going to do a little bit more of that on camera, and then we'll get started on your reading. And for those, welcome back to those people that have been here before. It's lovely to be here. And welcome to those new, to all those new viewers. You will see and notice these here. My full title is Reiki Master and Teacher. So really, I thought I need to start actually teaching people, because, you know, let's demystify the tarot a little bit and these things so that you guys can get the fullest benefits. Okay, let's just get started, Pisces. I know you can't really see that, but I can. It's just in case I forget who I'm reading for. Okay, my darling Pisces, card at the base of the reading for you guys is Justice. And look at what time it is just as I start this reading. Whoa. Okay, so we've got Justice, which is number 11. Now, we talk about the card. For me, the card at the base of the reading is the overall experience or energy that you're going to be facing over this time period, okay? So it's about a focus, obviously, for you guys on balance, isn't it? If we think about the number one is about is obviously related to our root chakra. I am, I do. This is your connection. Balance is about our connection, really, to both parts of ourselves, to our physical selves and our intuitive or emotional self. So both are a connection between our divine masculine and our divine feminine when we have this number in Justice. And it's almost as if, because Justice is related to the element of air and our thoughts and our minds, it's almost as if our thoughts and our ideas and our understandings of what will help to create balance in our lives are... Hello, Tiny. The things that help us to create balance in our lives, the things that you believe will help you to create balance in your lives. When Justice comes in, or the things that you believe will help you to feel balanced in your life, like an apology from somebody else or a judgment or a decision, for example, in legal cases, that those things are realized for you, for us, and that is what obviously helps to bring in balance. So it's about manifesting the things, or the things being manifested in our lives that will help us to feel balance and to achieve balance. You can't look at him. It's just, that's what he's been doing. Are you all right, Tiny? don't know why I try to keep this house so clean, because it doesn't. It's okay, baby. You're all right. Okay, so that's interesting, isn't it? Manifesting, being able to manifest, being able to see in your life the things that you know are necessary for you to feel balanced. Okay, that's a beautiful message for you guys, even as we just at the beginning of the month of December. So this card here that's on the outs is a clarifying card. I will know which card it is to clarify. Okay, so let's start with your divine masculine. Wow. Woo, woo, woo. We've got 2 twos here. 1 plus 1, 1 is 1, 2, 2. So 2s are also about commitments, okay? About commitments, committing to things, committing to things that are important to us, committing to things that, in this case, help us feel balanced, help us think that we're balanced, achieve balance. In this case, committing to something that we love or to somebody that we love. That's what 2s are about: partnerships, cooperation. Wow, beautiful cards, actually. So we've started then with your divine masculine, or the actions and experiences that you can be potentially facing in the month of December. We start with the 2 of Cups. Now, the Cups energy, that's your energy, my darlings, as you know, water, and it is about your emotions and your emotional self, your intuitive self, your feelings, your desires, your, not necessarily passions, but your wants and the things that would help you feel good in life. And there's the 2 of Cups here, so it could be suggestive that some of you are, I mean, if we look at all these 4 cards, this is exactly what happens when we meet the love of our life. That's literally what this is. Or when we get married, or when we get pregnant, for example, we start a family. This is exactly what happens. So we decide that we meet somebody, or this could be the actual meeting, or someone asks us to marry them, or we ask someone to marry us, or we fall pregnant, and then we're afraid. We're like, oh my God, this is like really, really scary. And we feel afraid, and we feel vulnerable. However, we know the joy and the happiness that this brings us, and so we show that we are happy in this situation. So in a nutshell, that could be some people's story this month in December. It could come as a sudden shock, a sort of relationship, or a commitment, or something that you are excited and passionate about, that you want to commit to, suddenly also wants to commit to you. So for example, you've been looking for a job, a particular job in a particular field that would be your dream job, and suddenly the opportunity comes in. These 2 cards would be suggestive of that. Suddenly this opportunity comes in with the Tower, and not only do you want to commit to the job, you found a job that wants to commit to you, or an employer that wants to commit to you. So we have this energy with the 2, which is also about commitment. It's also about, commitment. Yes, commitment. Duality. And duality is about what I want, you want, what she wants, he wants. It's about the balance on both sides. So that's why it's suggestive of, and I mean, what a beautiful, this is brilliant. And justice, in a way, also suggests that this might be a track that you've been on for some time. So you may have been, this card's talking to me now, you may have been looking for a job, as I said, for some time, or trying to get the result that you deserve, the decision that you deserve in some sort of area in your life. You've been waiting to hear something, and these cards suggest that you've been waiting to have something, like a relationship, for example. You've been waiting for something, you've been wanting something, you've been doing some inner work on yourself to get something. And that work, if you will, that waiting, if you will, that time spent, if you will, is now being rewarded with direct intervention from the divine. Now, you can think of the divine in any way that you want. You don't have to think of it as God. You can think of it as, you're just like the Wheel of Fortune. We're walking that path for so long, and then all that energy that we've put into walking that path is the thing that actually turns a wheel, spins a wheel for us. And so we can think about that in this sense as divine intervention, if you will. It's karmic, so things aren't the same every single day. Even people who don't believe in anything spiritual at all, if we lived in a state of everyone had enough food, everyone had enough things to do in their lives, you still would have you still would go through different things. You'd still have different type of experiences. And that's karma. And that's how we learn. We learn to wake up. We learn how to engage with the ultimate nature of reality, which is the ultimate goal of spirituality. Anyway, I digress. So that's what it's kind of suggesting. Now, I'm talking to you, and it's funny because this card here is distracting me, and it's related to this card here. And it's the Three of Pentacles. So again, we've got this cooperation. So it's basically what I said already, what I've already said. You know, this is the card is related to Pentacles energy. Pentacles energy is related to the earth signs. And the earth signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I'm an earth sign. Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The earth signs and this energy here are all about manifesting. So they're all about where we put our energy and effort in order to create stability. And when we have the Three of Pentacles, one of my favourite cards in the deck, as is the Tower actually. One of my favourite cards in the deck, because the reason I always say this is because number 3 on the Tree of Life is understanding, wisdom. Well, it's not wisdom, that's number 2 actually. It's understanding, which is Binner. And that really for me is about the receipt. Number 3 is a feminine number, and a divine feminine number. And it's about the receipt of knowledge or understanding of things. And it's about, because Pentacles energy is where I put my energy in order to create security, it's about you understanding what you need to do in order to manifest the type of outcome you want. And that understanding comes from both aspects of self, both your divine masculine, i.e., having experiences out in the world, and also your divine feminine, which is how did these experiences affect me, and how does that now affect what I do going forward? Balance, as I said, number 2. And then we come to number 3. So you understand now what you have to do authentically that's going to help you to achieve balance, that's going to help you to create the stability that you want in your life. And that means that people around you help you and cooperate with you and give you those opportunities. And then it also means that the universe is helping you as well to manifest the security, the life and the stability that you want. It could be love for some people. It could be a love relationship for some people. It could be business and work. And it could be a child. It could be, it's something that you want. It's something that you have wanted, and it's something that you have been working towards for some time. Now, it seems, as I said, in December that the operation, I was about to say the operation comes through. So for some people, I wasn't going to say that that's a Freudian slip, if you will. So because I've said the operation comes through, for some people, it might be that you've been waiting you maybe on a waiting list for an operation. That would be a very specific message for somebody out there, just because of that Freudian slip. Now, it could have been, whatever it is you've been waiting for or you've been working towards getting, now seems to be coming towards you in the month of December. What happens when we get what we want is there is this element of fear. Now, there's 2 sort of different aspects I'm going to look at when I talk about this energy, okay? Let's talk about the basics first of all. So it's number 9. Number 9 is related to the Hermit energy, which is Virgo. And number 9 is about diligence and fastidiousness. It's about focus. It's about detail. Number 9 is also about knowledge and wisdom. And it's about getting to the root of, or actively engaging with the why, actively engaging with the what I do, the why I feel the way that I feel in this instance. Now, the wand energy, number 9 on the Tree of Life, remember I'm teaching you now, is Yesod, which is foundation. So it's about engaging with your foundations, the things that have built up to make you who you are. Different from number 4, but I digress. Anyway, the wand energy. Now, the wand energy is your life force, your chi, your ki, as in key wisdom. It's your life force and energy. So this is that type of uncontrollable sort of reaction that we have to experiences when we are given something that we want or something that we don't want, when we have an experience that shocks us. So as I said, you've been working towards this, you've been working to find the person that you want or the job that you want. You've been waiting to make it big in the world of YouTube, and suddenly your video goes viral, or they ring you back and they say, yeah, we want you to come and work for the BBC or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? and you're excited and happy, clearly, but you're also like, oh my God, can I do this? And that's a reaction that you have, an energetic reaction. And it's not necessarily learned behavior. We call this card sometimes, for shorthand, not to minimize, but we call it the PTSD card. Is in we've had an experience in the past that was challenging and difficult, and it's my body remembering how that experience felt. That's what this type of energy is. But it's just a natural, instinctive, almost instinctive reaction that you have to this amazingly positive experience that's coming toward you in the month of December. What I would say, and what I always say, and the thing about the number 9 is about awareness. So it's about you recognizing. All you need to do is notice that you feel this way. Notice that this is like adrenaline running through your body. So you might not be able to sleep. Now, what happens is the adrenaline is running through your body. You might not be able to sleep. And it's just because you're excited, or it's just because you're nervous, or it's just because you're frantic, or it's just because you're so excited about becoming a new father or becoming a new mother or getting married or whatever it is. But what our brains tend to do sometimes is our brains tend to interpret that as fear. Oh my God, I'm worrying because I'm scared. Maybe I don't love him. Maybe I don't want a child. Maybe I don't want to do this job. No. That's what your brain does. Brain sword energy, remember, it's a completely different energy. It comes from a different place. And what you're doing is interpreting it. Don't interpret it. Don't tell yourself, well, I'm feeling this, so it means this. No. Just tell yourself, this is how I'm feeling. And rightly so, because obviously whatever it is, you've been wanting it for some time. And then we get the Sun card here as well. So remember, these are external action. These are things that are happening to you. These are experiences that are coming towards you in the month of December. So this, with the Sun card, this is showing, this is the, oh my God, sun, moon, stars, sun, moon, stars. Oh my God, how cool. So the sun turns up in the sun section. So the sun is, as I said, it's divine masculine. It's about what we do and the experiences that we have. And it's about authentic experience. It's about you, in a nutshell, being happy, being you in the world. It relates directly to the solar plexus, the third chakra here. And the affirmation for that is I can and I do. I can do this. I do want this. It's about self-confidence, self-esteem, manifestation is the sun, is the solar plexus. So you're, as I said, even though you will have that reaction of, oh my gosh, like physically you'll have that reaction, that nerves. It might affect, you might not be able to eat, you might not be able to sleep, you might be like excited, you might not be like, you might be like that. Just recognize, all you need to do is notice it. I call these moments anchors, the tower moments like that. They're anchors. They're meant to make us really fully aware and acknowledge and accept our physical and spiritual experiences during that time. These are really important times of learning for us, for you to develop your spirituality. And as I said, your spirituality is all about observing your reality. Okay, so let's move on now, my darlings, to the moon section. So remember, the moon section is your divine feminine. So this is all about your intuition, your feelings, and your intuition, your feelings, what's beneath the surface, what may be hidden. So we've got the Star card, we've got the 3 of Swords, we've got the Knight of Swords, and we've got the 10 of Wands. So we've got 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. So I want you to see, this is me saying, I've told you, I want you to notice it. This is like, people who become new parents, for example. It's exciting. You've just had a baby, it's really exciting. But you're scared and you're nervous and you're tired and you're not getting any sleep, and you're starting to wonder, is my relationship right? But all you're feeling is scared. And it's just a natural reaction to the experience. You're not meant to interpret it in your brain by going, oh my God, maybe it means they don't love me. Maybe it means I don't love them. Maybe it means I don't really want it. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Stop that. Because what you're going to do, some of you, is you're going to try to, instead of just allowing yourself to notice, oh my God, I'm I can't eat, I can't sleep, I'm nervous. Instead of allowing yourself just noticing it, some of you are going to try to distract yourself, which is what this is. You're gonna just dig in. You're gonna dig your heels in. You're gonna dig into the looking after the child, or doing the job, or doing the relationship, or whatever it is. And you're gonna start to ignore how you feel. Don't do that. Just notice it. So if you notice yourself taking on more and more work, or going longer and longer without food, or distracting yourself in whatever ways you will do, playing on your games, or I don't know, whatever you do in your life. If you notice, all I want you to do is notice that you are doing it, because this is the energy of, if I notice it, then it will stop. If I notice I'm working too hard, what happens when you notice, if you say to yourself, oh my God, I'm working too hard, what's your next step? You stop working, don't you? You chill out a bit, you relax, you rest, you do something else. If you don't notice it, you're just going to continue to pile. This is how you get to 10 wands, because you just keep piling on the work, until it becomes so uncomfortable that you have to stop. Do you understand what I mean? This is the difference. This is how it works. This is how wand energy works. This thing that drives us, but it also slows us. It's related, the wand energy, incidentally, is related to the second chakra, which is your sacral chakra. And I call this the seat of our, it's a trauma centre. It's the place that gives us everything that we want, the things that we're passionate about. It's about creativity and sexuality and pleasure and joy. And our imagination, but it's also when we've had an experience that has hurt us, that has scarred us, or even, as I said, it's not the experience in a whole on itself. It's when we've had an experience in the past that, say for example, you were walking down a street, a dark street at night, and someone jumped out and goes boo, and it's your friend. It doesn't matter that it's your friend. In that, when they go boo, you're gonna get that scared feeling, and then you go home, you go to bed, and you get into bed, and then your partner your partner during the night goes boo, and it's not real. You're not in any danger, but your body still reacts with that adrenaline, that rush of adrenaline, as if you are in danger. That's what wand energy is, and what happens is your body remembers those reactions and those feelings, and that's all it is with wand energy. So all you have to do is notice the feeling. Notice that feeling. Do you know how hard it is to describe the energy of wand? It's complicated. This is why we're going on and on. But I hope I've explained that. What I'm saying to you is notice it. There's going to be repeats, yeah? How you're feeling in the month of December. Energetically, there's repeats. Do not interpret it. Just notice that you're feeling it. Don't tell yourself, I'm feeling this, so that means this. It doesn't mean anything. You're feeling it because you're in a situation that's helping you to anchor, acknowledge, and accept where you are now. And those two places are different, even if energetically they feel the same. Okay, the star card. The star card. I mean, this card, I spent some time with this card, this energy. I spent some time with this energy. As I always say, I'm a Reiki master, and I experience the energies, and it's quite hard to explain what that means, but basically it's all about meditation. It's the way that we've got any of the things that we've got. So when we talk about anything in astrology or anything with regard to chakras, or it's all, and anything with regard to the tarot energies, it's all because of the work that people did previously. And the work that they did previously was they noticed, they observed, they meditated. They noticed, they observed, they meditated, they reflected. And then they would make predictions based on their own experiences, their own physical experiences of X, Y, Z. So for example, when there's something is making this weird, let me show you. This is my drink, and I put a little plastic cup on it, just to keep the heat in. It's just hot water, and it's created a vacuum, so that won't just come off now. It's created a vacuum, and I could hear this, and I was like, "What's that noise?" And it's that. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So that's how they would come up with when it was an eclipse, for example, they would say, well, the last eclipse, this is what happened. This is what happened around us in the last eclipse, and this is how it felt to experience a last eclipse. So that means that the next eclipse we can predict if that's going to happen again. And then the next eclipse happens, and then they would refine their understanding and interpretation. Now, that was long-winded, but that's how we get to here. So with the star card, what I love about... So when I say to you, I spent some time with the energy, that's what I did. I spent some time reflecting on the energy. I was going through whenever I'm going through an experience, physical, mental, whatever, I always have to try to organize it. I have to try to know, okay, what energy is that? And it was a star energy. And I really like this energy. It's a really light energy, actually. It's obviously related to Aquarius. It's related to the earth sign. So it's related to our thoughts, our minds. It's related to our consciousness, is the star card. But it's our consciousness raised. It's our consciousness raised. And as in, it's I'm starting to talk, as I said, a lot more about the intricacies of the tarot and the intricacies of the energies of the tarot. And one of the things that I was saying in one of the videos yesterday is that if you think about the tarot as 0, as in the Fool card, to the Wheel of Fortune as one part of your karmic journey, and that part of your karmic journey is about waking up. And by waking up, what we mean by that is recognizing that I am more than body. So recognizing that I'm more than just flesh. And then the second half of the tarot, the second half of the major arcana, so from card 11 to the 20 excuse me, 21, the world card, that part of the tarot is about the engagement then with your other part of your body, which is the psychic or the intuitive and emotional body. Okay, now so this is about insight. This is about understanding. This is about high understanding. This is about the feeling of confidence that you should have. This type of energy instills us with confidence because in our mind we are clear. Even if this situation comes and it comes in quickly, and suddenly you're pregnant, or suddenly you've got this job, or suddenly you're being asked to you've got your dream job and you have to move to Hollywood or whatever, I don't know, and you might be outwardly like, oh my god, like this is like I'm really nervous about this situation that's occurring. There is a real clarity and understanding of within you there's an understanding that this is the right way, this is the appropriate way, because it's healing, it's helping you to heal also. It's interesting that it brings out of you, so this experience, whatever it's going to be, and it's a good one, brings to the surface this. Now, do you know when I said to you before, you're having these feelings and don't interpret them? This is you interpreting them, yes. And this is you also, there's been an experience that you've had previously that's caused you to feel disempowered, or to think of yourself in a specific way. So you think of yourself, it's like people who say, for example, I've just got an addictive personality. I'm an addictive personality. There's no such thing as an addictive personality, and I can argue that with any psychologist. There's no such thing as an addictive personality. But people tell themselves, well, I'm just a negative person, or I'm just a positive person, or we sort of have these things about our identity, and those, they're not real. Those things that we think about ourselves, I've got an addictive personality, or I'm just a positive person, or I'm just a negative person, they're not real. They're just things that we tell ourselves. And these are things that we tell ourselves. And the things that we tell ourselves come from somewhere. They stem from somewhere. They root from somewhere. An experience that we've had previously. An experience, a formative, you've heard of that term, I'm sure, a formative experience that has created this perspective that we hold about ourselves that now needs to be released. Now, the beauty about seeing these two cards here together is we know that the Star card is healing, because as I said, it gives us that clarity, that foresight, that insight, knowing that we're where we should be, and so we don't need to worry. If you, in a nutshell, the energy of the Star card. So we know this is, remember, this is your divine feminine, so this is what you're feeling inside, this is what's going on beneath the surface, this is maybe what's hidden from your conscious mind. So you have the Three of Swords, and when we see these two cards together, what this tells us is that this experience, or getting the dream job, becoming a father, becoming a mum, whatever it is for you, isn't it? Meeting the person that you're going to end up marrying, meeting your soulmate, whatever it is. Whatever this experience is for you, it brings out, it helps you to recognize a vulnerability. Now, remember, that's what all karma is about. It's not just vulnerabilities, but it helps us to see things, helps us to recognize things, helps us to learn things. And for you guys, there's a vulnerability, a way that you think of yourself that you've had, that's instilled in your perspective, that needs to change and that will change and that's going to change. Source energy is about thoughts, our thoughts, mind, clarity, our consciousness, our communication, what we say and think and what we allow ourselves to say and think. So this is about you engaging with the truth of how this makes you, of how this perspective that you have of yourself was created. Where did that come from? So it's interesting that a real positive experience is going to make you adjust, understand, engage with, why do I think of myself in this way? Do you know some people think of themselves, for example, I'm a weak person, or some people think of themselves as I'm a strong person, or whatever you think. Do you know what I'm saying? It's that perspective. This is what needs to be taken out. And it's interesting because actually when I was meditating before I put the camera on, and I was noticing how the energy was flowing through my body just before I started, and my heart chakra actually was the one that was most active. So it's interesting because this is about not damage, but it's about our heart space, your heart space, and how that has been restricted by the passive impact of a long-standing event that's happened a long time ago. So even though you don't realize it that thing that happened years and years and years and years ago still affects how you think and feel about yourself. You're going to be able to notice that and hopefully redress that. We'll see that when we look at the star section as the month of December goes on. Okay, so then we've got this is really funny, this, because I did Capricorn's reading yesterday, and I'm a Capricorn, and I've got a twin sister, and so obviously she's a Capricorn, and my sister's husband is a Pisces, and these readings are really complimentary because actually there's a surprise coming for Capricorn. And I said to them, for example, you could be pregnant, and I was talking about how my sister said, they might get pregnant and it might be a shock. And I'm going, that's kind of like, mirroring it in here, so I have to I think they want another child, but maybe not quite yet. But maybe it's going to happen sooner than they think. So I might have to get them both. But I know that Stuart, he watches his videos, so hopefully that'll be funny. Hey Stu, love you, bro. See you at Christmas. Can't wait. Okay. Anyway, so he's gonna kill me for saying that. Anyway, so the next energy here we've got. And if you just notice, we've got all sword energy, so it's all about your mind, isn't it? How interesting! But it's interesting we've got all this sword energy in the feminine aspects, because obviously sword energy, I want to say is masculine. It is, yeah. It's one of the masculine side. It doesn't matter. But what it tells us though, and as I said, it's literally the message of this card. What we see here, this being in this section, your divine feminine section, which is what's beneath the surface, what's going on within, how you're feeling, etc. What's interesting is it links very clearly this section here to your justice, which I said right at the beginning. It's about what we now know, what we now understand about ourselves, what we now understand we need about in our lives, being able to manifest that in the world, because then that helps us to achieve that balance. And this is it. It's about you consciously engaging with your feelings and your thoughts, your ideas about yourself and your identity. We have this energy of the Knight of Swords. So this might make you, this is a card of speed, a card of, I feel like what it is for you is maybe you feel like things are moving quickly. And obviously we know that anyway. When we see the Tower, we know things are going to be moving quickly. But it's literally for your benefit and for your help. I mean, you've got the best, happiest cards in the deck here. You can't go wrong. But because you feel like things have moved very quickly. You really, that's what it is. You just feel like things have moved really quickly. But again, it's about recognizing that this is appropriate for you. This is your tonic. This is the thing that's actually going to, even if you feel like, so if it's like, as I said, Stuart and my sister getting pregnant, them having another child, I should say, I think they would prefer to wait till next year, but whatever. Anyway, I don't know why I'm even talking to you guys about this, but anyway, it's about realizing that it's like saying, oh, we'll have a child next year, but we'll get practicing, we'll start doing the dieting, and we'll start doing the, whatever married couples do. But actually, the first time you come off the pill, you fall pregnant, thinking that it's going to take 3 months or 4 months or 5 months because you've just been on pill. But actually, you get pregnant straight away. Know that that's exactly what was meant to happen. Whatever happens in this month is exactly meant to happen, because it's meant to make you confront aspects of your identity and ideas that you hold about yourself that are outdated and that need to be released and transformed. And I wouldn't be surprised if I see the death card, because we need it. You need to recognize that transformation is necessary for you. So know that whatever happens this month is meant to happen. It's happening, even though it feels scary and you try to distract yourself from that. We've already talked about that card. Even though it feels like it's going really fast, it's meant to help you to heal. Ultimately, it's meant to help you to identify these things so that you can finally purge them and release them. Okay, so let's finally look at the star section. So do you know, this is a sun, moon, and star reading, and you've had the sun and the star. So I wonder if you get the moon. Let's have a look. So as this is going forward, or toward the end of the month or into next year. Okay, what have we got? We've got. That's really irritating. I'm going to move that next reading because I don't even need it. We've got the Page of Cups. So we've got you feeling vulnerable. And it actually also represents children. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I'm so excited to see if my 20s get in front of me pregnant again. Oh my God. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so I get very excited about babies. I'm very happy when she had her first child, and baby Isaac. And he is the most... I mean, I've got... I think I've got so many, 11 or 12 nieces and nephews now, and they're all lovely. The oldest is Olivia. She is, how old's Olivia now? 23, I want to say. And then the youngest is baby Isaac. They came to see me last few weeks ago. Oh, they were here for the whole day watching Go Jetters. Oh my word, because it was raining all day. Anyway, beautiful. So I hope we have more babies. So we've got the Page of Cups, we've got the 4 of Swords, we've got the 8 of Swords, and we've got the 7 of Cups. Okay, so isn't it interesting? This is the thing that I always find so interesting. I mean, I've never won the lottery, for example, but I know that when you win the lottery, even though it's a really happy thing, you've won the lottery, it also creates all these emotions, all these experiences. Because winning the lottery, just like losing a job, is a karmic experience that's meant to teach you something about yourself. It's meant to get you to know yourself. So when we get the things that we want, and it seems that you get something beautiful, something that you've wanted, something that is good, something that is a blessing, it seems that you receive that, but it makes you feel very vulnerable going forward. And the message fully is just about, you've really got to just still go for it. You can't stop yourself from having this experience, because this is what life has put in front of you. So you have to have the experience. And yes, you feel vulnerable, so allow yourself to feel vulnerable, but also to reflect on those vulnerabilities, okay? So the Page of Cups is your energy, as you know, my darling Pisces. And, I basically call this card your inner child. It's masculine energy, so it's about the things that we do. So it's about you opening up about your experiences, opening up about your emotions and your reactions. And it makes you feel vulnerable, of course. It makes everyone feel vulnerable. If vulnerable was easy, then everyone would do it. But it's not. It's not easy to be open with our hearts, even to the people that know, even to our families or our close friends or our husbands or our wives or our children. It's not always easy to be open about how we're responding to this amazing blessing that we're having, but we have to be open about it. Sometimes, it's about, do we feel that we deserve it? So some of you might be like, I don't deserve this. Why do I deserve this blessing? And that is, that's again something that is an idea that you have that needs to be released. And that's why you're having this experience, so that you can recognize that you don't feel worthy. It's like those people that don't take compliments well. They don't take compliments because they don't feel worthy of those compliments. It's just that they don't understand that, and they don't know where that comes from. And it's about it's trying to change things for you. It's trying to balance things out for you over this next month, over this next 4 to 6 weeks. It's trying to balance this out for you. Yes, this is clearly a very happy experience that you're going to be having in the month of December. But that experience, as I said, it churns the waters. It churns our emotional waters up, as it should, because it helps us then to identify the fear, the worry, the panic, the nerves that we have, and recognise that comes from somewhere. It comes from a feeling of unworthiness, or a perspective of, I don't think I'm good enough, or I think I'm weak, or I think I'm an addict, or whatever it is for you as an individual. So it's really good. It's a really healthy lesson that you're learning over the next few weeks, my darlings. And next we have the 4 of Swords. So we've got the 3 of Swords and the 4 of Swords. So this is progress. Nutshell, this is the meditation card. I mean, the reason we say that, let me tell you why. Because, as I said, the Sword energy is thoughts, mind, clarity, consciousness, communication. So it's what we think and how we think, etc. And the 4s are about our foundations, our roots. As I said when I looked at the number 9, I said different from the number 4. I actually made sure I said that. Number 4 is love. And love is about acceptance, isn't it? Love's about acceptance. And we only get to acceptance if we can acknowledge and become aware of. I take us back to here. But yeah, the 4th house in astrology is about roots, is about family, it's about where we come from. And that's what I'm talking about. It's about recognizing where these aspects of ourselves, where these ideas, these thoughts that you hold about yourself, where they come from. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, you are capable. And, this is showing that you've been locked in a way of thinking about yourself with the 8 of... You've been locked in a way of thinking about yourself, or locked in a way of seeing yourself with the 8 of Swords. Again, 8s are a number of... karmic cycles. I don't know why that was so hard for me to remember. 8s are the number of karmic cycles. And So this shows that you've been caught in a cyclical way of thinking. You've been caught in a cyclical way of thinking, and you don't see that yet. And this is the time where you can start to see it. People don't realize, we don't realize how much damage we do to ourselves by not engaging with our thoughts. We think that, and I used to think it, and I used to do that, just like everyone else. I used to be like, oh, I don't want to think about that because it's too upsetting, so I'll just not think about it. And obviously you think that, well, that's good because I can just get on with my life. But obviously that's not... Obviously, I just kept having experience after experience in my life, karmic experiences, that made me engage with how I really feel and what I really think. And these things, and maybe engage with these things that I was trying to not think about. Eventually, I had to think about them. So this is what's happening. It ain't a punishment. That's healing. That's the only thing I have against those you hear me say it all the time. It's the only thing I have against those meditation apps. I've never even used one, so they might be good. They might be, I'm sure they're great to get you relaxed. But meditation literally translates from, the etymology of that word is from Latin. For followers of Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram and on Facebook, you will know. It means, it's from the word meditare, which is Latin, meaning to consider, to reflect, to think over. That's what we do in meditation, because that is what helps us to expand and to grow. The knowledge, the acceptance, the understanding helps us to move on. Oh my gosh, I am working too hard. Once you allow yourself to acknowledge that, you put everything down and chill out for a minute. And it's the same if you ignore everything, then you don't engage and you can't move on, and it just gets a bit tougher. So just engage. Again, all I can say to you is engage, because this is a time that's actually all about your balance, all about your recalibration, all about you having a new sense of who you are, a truer sense of who you are, because you understand where these ideas come from. Finally, number 7. I call this number of mystery. 7 of Cups, again, your energy. 7 is my master number. I always say that. I don't know why, but I do. And this 7 of Cups is a number of questions. Why do I feel this way? Why do I, You know, what is it that I'm not certain of? What is it that I want? And what is it that I need? What is it? That's the questions of the Seven of Cups. That's what it asks. And if you look, you know, the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, I understand. It's about enlightenment. Yes, it's about psychic abilities, but psychic abilities is psychic. When we talk about psychic is about our feelings. It's about your feelings. What do you feel? Now, you know, I think people get all confused with psychic, terms like psychic and terms like that, because it's really everything. You wouldn't have any of these things without mindfulness. You wouldn't have any psychic or whatever, or astrology or numerology or the tree of life or Buddhism. You wouldn't have any of those things without mindfulness. And mindfulness is about full engagement with your experiences. You've got to notice what you think, how you feel, how you act, what you say. It's about noticing those things. So this is why it's positive when we see this energy here. I understand. These feelings that are churned up because of this really positive thing, this really positive blessing that comes into your life over the next few weeks. This really positive blessing comes into your life over the next 6 weeks, and it brings up these feelings. Don't interpret them. Don't say, well, I'm feeling this, I'm not sure, what am I feeling? That must mean I don't want the job. That must mean I don't want the child. No, it doesn't. It means something else. And let yourself rest. Let yourself see. Let yourself notice how you respond, because that is where the wisdom is. The wisdom's inside you. It's not inside your brain. It's inside your psychic body or your feelings. So allow yourself to engage with them without interpretation. Okay, so I hope that was a good one for you, my darlings. I mean, it's a beautiful reading. I said it really complements the Capricorn reading. Don't forget to check out, as I said, your sun, your rising sign, or your moon sign, your Venus sign even, because this type of reading really does help you to get to the root of things, you know, with your internal emotions and with your internal emotions and your thoughts, etc. A few more announcements I'm going to be doing. I'm going to say to you guys, make sure you, if you haven't already, if you subscribe and click that bell, because I'm going to be uploading some more videos. These are the ones I'm going to be uploading, okay? I'm going to be uploading a video about a breakdown of the 2019 astrology. You know, why this year's been so tough, why this year's been so hard for so many people. I'm going to just break down, you know, the 5 eclipses, the impact that they've had on us and what we should have learned. And I'm also going to be uploading a 2020 astrology video as well. I'll be just looking forward. There are 4 minor eclipses and 1 proper eclipse next year. There's usually only 1, but anyway, I digress. I'll talk about that in that video if you're interested. I'm also going to be looking at the astrology for December. I'll do a separate video for the astrology in December. We've got our final of 5 eclipses of the year, and I said in January, and I wish I'd have done a video now, I said in January that this year, because of the eclipses, it tells us it's going to be drastic weather and drastic politics. You know, governments could be overthrown, I said. And then look at this now, we're having, in the UK, we're having an election for the first winter election for the first time in over 30 years. So you do the maths. But anyway, so I'll be doing that. So for those of you that are interested, as I said, make sure you click the bell for notifications and subscribe so you get those. They'll be uploaded at the beginning of. I probably won't do them on Friday. I may do them on Friday and upload them at the weekend, but I probably will do them next week. And yeah, so just keep an eye out, my darlings. Well, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful couple of weeks, and I will see you all again very soon with your brand new readings. Take care, my darlings. Bye.